Enigma Volume 1, The Knight's Order. Chapter 1, Sacrifices. Blood dripped from the microphone. Crimson North stared at his scarred knuckles, raw from punching the studio wall, each drop hitting the expensive carpet in perfect rhythm with T-Box metronome. In the control room, Marcus Vale and Diana Storm watched through quantum-enhanced glass as the young rapper faced his first real test. Delete it, Marcus commanded. All of it. 6 months of recordings. 32 tracks. A whole album of pure fire. Each song engineered by T-Box to perfection. And not just any tracks. These were the ones that had first drawn the Knight's Order's attention. The frequencies that could pierce dimensional barriers. "You're insane," Crimson spat, his signature leather jacket creaking as he turned. "This album's gonna change everything." "Exactly," Diana smiled, her quantum implants registering the spiritual turmoil in his aura. "That's why it has to go." In the corner, Tunes, their resident artist and chaos incarnate, kept painting, his brush strokes violent against the canvas. He'd been with them since the beginning, creating album artwork that seemed to move when you weren't looking directly at it. Now his latest piece showed crimson burning, but the flames looked like wings. Sometimes, Tunes muttered, black paint dripping like tears down his canvas. "You gotta burn your own house down to build a castle." T-Box fingers hovered over the delete button. He'd poured his soul into these mixes, pushing technology to its limits, blending frequencies that shouldn't exist in this dimension. Crim, maybe they're right. These tracks, they feel different. Sometimes when I'm mixing late at night, I see things in the sound waves. Things that shouldn't be there. The studio lights flickered, casting shadows that danced like demons to a beat only they could hear. Outside, Blantyre's skyline seemed to pulse with the same rhythm. "The universe demands balance," Marcus stated, his voice carrying ancient weight. "To gain power, you must first understand loss. Your music is tearing holes in reality, holes we can use. But first, you need to learn control, and that starts with sacrifice." Crimson looked at his reflection in the studio window. Behind his image, he could have sworn he saw other versions of himself. One in knight's armor, another in chains, a third burning with blue fire. The quantum barriers were already thinning. Tunes' paintbrush clattered to the floor. His canvas now showed Crimson reaching through flames to grasp a sword made of sound waves. "Every king has his coronation by fire," he whispered. With a trembling hand, Crimson reached for the computer. One click, that's all it would take to destroy half a year's work. His life's best work. "Together," T-Box said, placing his hand next to his friend's. Like always, they pressed delete as one. The studio lights exploded, quantum energy surging through the building. In that moment of loss, something new awakened. They could feel it in their bones, in the spaces between heartbeats. Tunes laughed manically, splashing red paint across his canvas. "Now that's what I call a sacrifice." Chapter 2, Rockstar. The asylum wasn't just a nightclub. It was Blantyre's gothic heart, where lost souls came to scream their pain into the void. Tonight, it would become sacred ground. Crimson stood in the VIP section, his new tracks hitting harder, cleaner, deadlier after the sacrifice. Beside him, his fellow rapper young Glizzic nursed a drink that smoked like dry ice, his gold teeth catching the strobing lights. "You'll know her when you see her," Diana had said. "True love resonates across dimensions." The crowd parted like the Red Sea. She moved like a thunder cloud, wearing combat boots and a dress that seemed sewn from shadows. Aurora. Her eyes met Crimson's across the dance floor, and reality hiccuped. "Damn," Glizzic whispered, his usual bravado shaken. "She's got that same energy my queen had when I first saw her." T-Box, manning the club's decks, transitioned into their latest track. The speakers pumped quantum-infected bass, making the air itself ripple. Tunes, painting live on stage, captured the moment Aurora's aura collided with Crimson's, a splash of violet against crimson red. But the path to true love in the Knight's order was paved with thorns. The corrupted order sent their own agents, soul harvesters disguised as music industry executives, dimensional vampires wearing designer suits. They offered Aurora a deal. Leave Crimson, become their star, gain power beyond imagination. "I've seen this story," Glizek said one night, as they watched Aurora fight her own battles. "My girl, she went through the same fire. These industry demons, they don't want love. Love's too powerful, too pure. They want broken souls they can feed on." Through it all, Aurora proved stronger than heaven and hell combined. She fought for their love with tooth and claw, matching Crimson's intensity with her own inner fire. Her presence in his music added harmonies that made quantum barriers tremble. Together, they turned pain into power, darkness into light. Their love story became legend in Blantyre's underground scene. The rapper who broke reality and the gothic queen who helped him put it back together. Chapter 3. Steve Cold. The final test arrived like a ghost from the past. Mount Moulange loomed against a blood-red sky as Crimson faced his demons. Not metaphorical ones. The quantum energy had given form to every doubt, every fear, every moment of pain in his life. "That's your past," Marcus explained, his quantum armor humming. "To become a true knight, you must make peace with it." The phantom circled. His father walking out, his mother's tears, every failure, every doubt, every night spent hungry, wondering if the music would ever be enough. They wore his face, spoke with his voice, bled his blood. Channel Stone Cold, T-Bach called from the safety barrier. "Remember what you learned from watching him? Sometimes you gotta be your own toughest opponent." Crimson nodded, understanding finally why this test bore the wrestler's name. Stone Cold Steve Austin had made an art form of turning pain into power, of being unapologetically himself. Tunes painted frantically, his canvases capturing the battle in real time. Crimson wrestling his demons, Aurora's love giving him strength, T-Box beats providing the rhythm of warfare. Glizek stood witness, his own battles reflected in his eyes. The fight was brutal. Each demon knew exactly where to strike, which wounds to reopen. But with each hit Crimson took, he learned to hit back harder. With each scar they reminded him of, he showed them how those scars had made him stronger. When dawn broke, Crimson stood bloody but unbowed. His demons hadn't been destroyed. They'd been embraced, integrated, transformed into power he could control. Marcus and Diana exchanged looks. The corrupted order had sent them to find souls to harvest, but they'd found something more valuable. Warriors who could help them reform the order itself. The ceremony was held in that same underground club where it all began. Crimson North and T-Bach became knights of a new order, protectors of a power greater than quantum technology, the power of truth expressed through art. Their music changed after that. You could hear it in Crimson's lyrics, feel it in T-Bach's production. Every track became a bridge between dimensions, every performance a ritual that strengthened the barriers between worlds. Aurora's influence added depths of darkness and light that made their sound uniquely powerful. Tune's final painting showed them all: the rapper knight, the producer sage, the gothic queen, the loyal friend, and the reformed watchers. Behind them, reality itself seemed to bend in harmony with their presence. In the end, Crimson North learned that true power wasn't about dimensional barriers or quantum frequencies. It was about facing your demons, embracing your scars, and finding the courage to be ruthlessly, authentically yourself. And somewhere in the multiverse, other corrupted knights learned to fear the sound of a bass drop from Blantyre.